Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is our Manchester City versus Manchester United preview, jam-packed. Lots of input from you. As per usual, we are live. And I just want to say that this is the tale of two bottlers. It's not the tale of two cities because it's a Manchester derby. But it is the tale of who's going to bottle this first. It's a Manchester derby. This is a Manchester derby. Let me repeat that again. This is Manchester City versus Manchester United in a Manchester derby. If Manchester City win this on Saturday, they can win the Premier League against Manchester United at their own ground. Manchester United have to somehow salvage some respect and stop that from happening. This is a big game, and I think people are allowing it to slip away. And whether that's clever tactics by Pep or Mourinho playing it down, but I think both are in big danger. Now, my priority is Manchester United in this, and as Matteo 7 says, just attack. I'm Mourinho in, and I am Jose Mourinho in, and I will still be Mourinho in on Saturday night no matter what. But my backing of Mourinho will be severely damaged if he doesn't do what he needs to do in this game. There is no excuse to park the bus against Man City on Saturday. I'm no Liverpool fan, far from it. But Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp have shown 3 times now how to deal with Man City. No other team in England has got close to dealing with Man City this season, and that's why they've ran away with the league with record points total. But Liverpool against Man City at the Etihad last year, when Mane was sent off, up until that point, it was a pretty equal game. In January in the league at Anfield, they schooled City and they battered them. And then last night, they battered them again. That's 3 times in a row Jurgen Klopp has figured out how to deal with Man City, which is not park the bus, which is get at them, be aggressive, be fast, be tenacious, and City aren't used to that. And that's how you beat City. I wish to God we had done this in December. I said it last night. December, we got ourselves in with a chance of a title race. We beat Arsenal away from home with a brilliant performance. We beat Watford away from home with a brilliant performance. We get City at our place. We've got Old Trafford primed to make it a cauldron, to kill them off. And what do? Sit back and hit long balls and let City have the ball in front of us and press the life out of us. It was a terrible performance. And a lot of United fans reacted to that badly because it was just shocking. This cannot happen on Saturday. Mourinho cannot do this. He has got to attack. And if we lose, then we lose. But if we sit back and park the bus, we will definitely lose and we will be mocked because we've seen only last night or 2 days ago, if you're watching this tomorrow or whatever, we've seen how you beat City. Or we've seen how you cause City problems. I mean, it's a Manchester derby at the end of the day. I don't think we should say we expect to go there and beat them, but we've got to go there and play in a certain way. And Mourinho cannot park the bus in this game. He has got to be tenacious. He has got to get at them. As regards to Pep Guardiola and will he rest players, won't he rest players? I mean, if he rests players, then he's a bigger bottler as any other manager, because this is the Manchester derby. You're at home. You can win the title against Manchester United at your own ground. The fixtures never fall like that. You've got the fans. I'm no Man City fan, obviously, but Man City fans will absolutely love it if they can win the title on Saturday against Manchester United at home. They'll love that. If Guardiola says, "Oh no, I'm going to rest players for the Liverpool game," which, to be honest, why? Then he's a bottler as well. But I'm more interested in Mourinho. And what I want to say is, as we move on to this screen here, because actually, no, let's just do this first, because there were some comments on the video we did yesterday that I said I was going to show up on the screen. So this first one is from Amin. He says, "I can guarantee that although it is hypothetical, if Pep Guardiola joins United initially and Mourinho joins City, we would be talking about De Gea, Shaw, Martial, Pogba and Rashford as the world-class quality inherited, and Mourinho fans would talk about an ageing Silva, injury-prone Company, deadwood Yaya and mentally weak Sterling for whom Mourinho inherited. Fact of the matter is, players like De Bruyne, Sterling and Sane are who they are because of Pep, and if roles were reversed, they wouldn't be half the players they are under Mourinho. Mourinho has only spent £100 million less than Pep, but how Pep has spent his money is miles better." So he's obviously a fan of not a fan of Mourinho. However, Yadman TV, "I don't get the Jose hate. We've beaten Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool from 6th to 2nd. The fact is, teams don't lay down for us like they do for City. In honesty, We are a Pogba injury out of a league title race. I genuinely do not fear City. This is their year, no doubt, but soon they'll be out of the Champions League, and going into next season, I don't think they'll pull off all those 1-0 games they snatched. This is probably a Leicester season, so a bit of positivity there. And then Ian Turlington says, when Jose and Pep took over United and City respectively, I'd say City's squad was 7 or 8 quality players ahead of United's. I'd say that's now down to 5 to 6, so still work to be done to catch up, which I think is a very, very accurate point, picking up on some of the things we spoke about yesterday. So different opinions amongst the Manchester United fans. Can I argue that, says Paul Robinson? What, in relation to the first one, that Pep would be getting the best out of Martial and Rashford? Well, I think he would do, yeah. But I more side with the last comment that Ian made, that regardless, Mourinho still inherited a squad that's nowhere near as good as Man City's, and he hasn't got the open checkbook that Pep has either. This is how I think Manchester United are going to line up for the weekend. Anyway, we've got loads to get through, so I'm going to be interacting with you. Please do hit a like on the like button. Let's see if we can get 500 likes while we're live. That's the target when we're live. De Gea in goal, Valencia, Bailly, Lindelof, Young, and then Matic, Pogba, Lingard, Mata, Sanchez and Lukaku. I will be stunned if this isn't the team he goes with. I think last week against Swansea he went with the team that he is his best team now, Mourinho's best team, and I think that this is how he will go for it. Now, what I want to say at this point, and it might come across as wrong, Mourinho's got to have a go at the weekend, right? Mourinho's got to have a go. Let's come back to the live comments for the moment. Mourinho's got to have a go at the weekend. But I'm going to say something to you now. Actually, I need to be back on this screen. The problem that Manchester United have is the midfield. The midfield, we haven't got a midfield that can cause Man City problems like Liverpool did last night. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jordan Henderson and James Milner are all B-Tech England players. They shouldn't even be going to the World Cup. They're crap. But they're fast. They're tenacious. They were given a job and they did it. That worked against Man City's pretty tiki-taka because they got in there. They were fast. They were like flies round the proverbial shit, and they got at them. And it worked fantastically well. What have we been saying? What have you been saying about Manchester United for the last year? Our midfield is ridiculously static. Fellaini, Carrick, Matic, McTominay, even Pogba to a certain extent. It's too bloody tall, it's too bloody slow. We haven't got the midfielders to actually chase City down at the weekend, and that's where we might come unstuck. I'm still 50-50. I mean, I don't know what you lot think. Get in the live comments, let's see what people say. Do you think he's going to park the bus, or do you think he's going to try and do what Liverpool did? Because if he tries, and I think he's got to try and do what Liverpool did, because if he parks the bus, he's going to get so much hate. But if he tries to do what Liverpool did, he's going to fall foul on the fact that he's obsessed with height and slow midfielders. And we haven't got anyone, apart from Ander Herrera, who can come into that midfield and chase City down in these areas. Matic isn't quick enough. He's a good midfielder. He's not quick enough. Pogba isn't really that sort of player. McTominay not quick enough. Fellaini no way quick enough. Lingard quick enough, not strong enough. So we need players in that midfield to get at City, because that's what Liverpool did. We haven't got those midfielders, and this isn't about the derby. This is about the game. This is about Manchester United's season. This is about Manchester United next season. As we saw last night with Liverpool, and as Liverpool will probably do to Real Madrid and Barcelona if they get through, they haven't got the quality, but they've got the right type of player to press the opposition. I mean, Nathan Redmond, I always use him from Southampton. He could press. He's quick and he's small and he gets involved. You've got to have those sort of players in the modern game. This park the bus, cover your own space, tactically, strategically, box off different areas of the pitch. It's a decade ago, Jose. Now, you can use Jordan Henderson, who's a crap footballer, but because he's quick across the ground and he'll put his foot in, that's tenacious, that is pressing, and that's what United need. And we haven't actually got players to do that on Saturday. So if he goes with that team, I think it will struggle. Gab Shum says, it's not a team which can scare Pep, but you are right, Mark. The midfield is so poor. Bus is being brought into place now, says Aquagus Hallison. And Lingard and Rashford will play, says Najim. Herrera was quality at the Etihad last year, Mark, says Alex Webb. Mark, would it work if Mourinho plays Mata as a CM? I think Herrera's got to play. If you want to play like Liverpool did, you've got to play Herrera. Herrera's got to come into a midfield three, probably take Lingard out. But I don't think he'll do that. I think he will go with this team against Manchester City. I think that's how he's going to go. Now, very quickly, I don't want to dwell on this for too long, but let me just... I don't know how Man City are going to line up. I'm just going to say I have got no idea how they're going to line up. I'm just going to put up a team that could get played based on who he's got available. But more than likely, he will bottle it and rest players because I think he's hinted at that already, and I think he'll stick through with that. But some of these players may well play. And as that... formation-wide, that's pretty much Manchester City, isn't it? Now, what they did yesterday is they played no Sterling and they put Gundogan in here. Nobody's talking about it. It was the stupidest thing Pep Guardiola's ever done. Because if he'd played like this, like he did in the second half, I think Liverpool would have struggled. But he didn't. And Liverpool killed this area with those three players, Milner, Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain, pressing. Their front three were very good at pressing as well. It wasn't that front three. It was Mane, Salah and Firmino. And they pressed Manchester City all over the pitch, and they kept a rigid back four as well, and it worked really well. How do Manchester United do that? How do we do that with Pogba and Matic in a two, and Lingard too lightweight to do it? I'm hoping that we won't see that formation. I'm hoping that we'll see Herrera drop in, because I think that'll make a big difference. But you know what? Maybe we'll see Fellaini in there. Maybe we'll see McTominay in there. I don't know, but I think that's the 11 he's going to go with. My score prediction for it, I think... God, I don't... So much depends on what team he's going to select, and so much depends on what team Pep Guardiola is going to select. I'm going to actually say 2-2. And actually 2-2, when you look at it, means we've scored twice. And it probably sounds like quite an open game. And I'll be more than happy with that. This game, as I said at the start of the video, is totally about the approach that Jose Mourinho goes for this game. If he approaches it in the right way, then I and many others will give him a lot of leeway for the rest of the season into next season. If he goes and... I mean, I don't know. Am I missing something here? I don't think he can, but it doesn't mean he won't, park the bus against Man City on Saturday when Liverpool, one of our biggest rivals, have just gone and done that to them. The contrast, even the most stupid journalist will pick up on that contrast on Sunday morning and say, look at the way Liverpool did this to Manchester City, and then look at the way Mourinho's Manchester United rolled into the Etihad, parked a bus in front of it and still lost. It will just be that contrast of fast attacking football of Liverpool and Manchester City against this negative, conservative football of Mourinho. I don't think he can expose himself to that because the press don't matter. The press don't matter. The pundits don't matter. What matters is the fans. And that's the argument that he cannot face. He cannot put himself in that. I don't know whether he'll do it or not. I'm hoping that he won't. But if he doesn't do it, I think he needs to use people like Herrera and everything. Herrera has to play in that midfield because it's got to be tenacious. It's got to be fast. It's got to press. Sanchez can press. Lukaku can press. I'd even think about putting Lingard on the right and maybe put Mata to the bench because Lingard can press with his pace. You've got to hit City on the break. We saw that. Mane, Salah, Firmino, you've got to have pace on the break. I don't think this is a game for Juan Mata. I really don't. I think the team will be the same team that he picked against Swansea because I think that's Mourinho's first 11 at the moment, apart from Bailly. I think his front four is Lingard, Mata, Sanchez, Lukaku. That's Mourinho's first choice front four, I believe, at the moment. That's why I think that's what he'll go with. But realistically, I think he's got to have a midfield three. It'd be stupid not to have a midfield three. And it's got to be a proper midfield three. And I would have Matic, Pogba and Herrera. I think it's a very good balanced midfield three. And then his front three have got to be fast. Well, Lukaku will be one, Sanchez will be the other. And I would play Lingard or Rashford on the right. I mean, he's not going to play Martial, is he? Seth Ramirez says Rashford, Lingard, Lukaku, Sanchez to press. Exactly. And from front three, Sanchez, Rashford and Rom, says the fee 668. Greya Gabsham Mikhail says, Mark, remember that this is the same team that once beat City in the pre-season, so Jose must select those players as well. And remember, I remember the last time we went to the Etihad when no one really gave us a chance. It wasn't last season, was it? It was the season when Rashford got the winner. No one really gave us a chance. We had Fellaini in the midfield. What if we park the bus but win in the end, says Ali Tahar Ahmed. It's a very good question, actually. I was going to be very dismissive of it, which would have been very rude of me. I don't think we can park the bus and win, because parking the bus, we don't win when we park the bus. You go to Anfield like we have done twice, we don't create any chances to win it. It really is just about nullification. I don't think... And also, I've watched City a few times, especially around December when I was hoping they were going to drop points. And the amount of teams, I remember Huddersfield doing it and they still scored late on. The amount of teams that park the bus against City, Pep loves it. That City team love teams that park the bus against them, because all they'll do is ticky-tacky, all for 90 minutes. And eventually they'll either get a penalty or a goal. And they will win. If you park the bus, City will win. Who has stopped City this season parking the bus? Nobody. I can't think of anybody who's parked the bus. In fact, I think the only teams that have taken points off Liverpool, off Man City this season, correct me if I'm wrong, are Liverpool clubs. Everton at the Etihad drew with them, and then Liverpool beat them. I think that's the only points they've dropped, isn't it? I can't think of any others. I can't. But there was a good comment on the video yesterday as well about how, as good as City are, if it wasn't for Lukaku, they wouldn't have scored 2 goals at Old Trafford. So I'm excited about next season, but I think the game on Saturday is biblical. It's a shame it's not Easter weekend, because it is biblical in the sense that, I nearly swore, I nearly said the F word. F City. God, screw City. If Pep bottles it and doesn't want to put a good team out in the derby to win the title, that's his problem. The fans won't be happy with him for that. They can pretend all they like. They want to win it on Saturday. But screw City. If they don't put their best team out, sod 'em. It's about Manchester United. It's about Jose Mourinho. It's about what we can salvage from this season, but it's about next season. And if we go to the Etihad on Saturday and play expansive football and lose, I will still sit here and say that's the step in the right direction for next season. Let's buy some players in the summer. Let's improve this squad. Let's keep playing this way, and let's go for it next season. Because I've seen things with this City team all season. I think teams sit back against them because they think that's the way to do it. You're playing right into their hands. The way to do it is the way Klopp has done it. You've got to have... It doesn't matter about ability. You've just got to have players who are fast, pressing and strong and tough and get at City. And that's all it is. It's very simple. You don't need to be world-class players to do it. You need to have people who can attack, like Liverpool do in that front three. But that midfield three, Henderson, Milner and bloody Oxlade-Chamberlain, that's not a good midfield. That's not a good midfield at all. And that's what... United need to build from this game. And if he parks the bus, what are we building from? We're just isolating a derby and trying for our lives desperately to cling on for a point. Where's the progression in that? There's no point in doing that. We're not winning the league this year. So going to City and parking the bus and praying for a draw, that point doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't. We've almost got a game in the bank anyway because we are ahead of Liverpool. We've got a game in hand on them. So we may as well just go to City and have a go. And I don't know whether Mourinho listens to fans or whatever like that. But what do you feel as a Manchester United fan? Because I would rather, and I want to know what you lot think here, I would rather we went to that game on Saturday and lost 4-2 than go there and park the bus and lose 2-0. I would rather lose 4-2 and try and do what Liverpool did last night and be progressive, be tenacious, try and hit them on the break and lose 4-2. I would rather that than park the bus, do absolutely nothing and lose 2-0. I will take a loss at the weekend if the approach is right, because boxing it off as a park the bus performance just frustrates us. Where's the future in that? There is no future in it. We need to see a future performance tomorrow, and we need to see it against Spurs in the FA Cup in a few weeks. We need to see a future. We need something to cling on to at the weekend. He got away with it at home. There was a lot of angry fans after that game at Old Trafford in December where we lost the title to City. We can't have that. This is not about a result. This is not about winning by any means. This is bigger than that. That Sevilla game still rattles in the brains of Manchester United fans, and what we need to see on Saturday is a different approach. And actually, I think Liverpool's win has intensified that to massive levels, because we've seen our biggest rival annihilate Manchester City's best 11 tactically and score. We can't go there on Saturday and not have a go. And I don't mean go gung-ho. Liverpool were very well organised at the back, but it was
I mean, Liverpool's performance in a couple of sentences, they were very well organised defensively. When City had the ball, they got behind the ball, and then but they didn't let them settle. They had a midfield that pressed. And then when they got the ball, they were very quick. Everything was forward, forward, forward. Now, this is contradictory to everything United do. When the opposition get the ball, United get behind the ball, but they don't press it. And then when United win the ball back, we side to side, we gradually move up the pitch. We've been saying this all season. United are so easy to defend against because they always give you an opportunity to get your men back. Liverpool were organised, but they pressed, and then when they got the ball, it was bang, bang, let's go forward, force mistakes, quick. That's the way United have got to play. That is how we've got to do it. 3 points is 3 points, says Bad Brab, so he'd take apart the bus. Paul Robinson says we need to attack the best team in the league to show us where we need to improve and what we have in our locker. It's a litmus test. Exactly, I couldn't put it any better myself, Paul. It's not, I don't want to lose the derby, that's not what I'm saying, but where we are in the journey of Mourinho's management and Manchester United's progression, there is sod all use in going there and parking the bus and grinding out points. It doesn't mean anything. This is the litmus test, like Paul said. It is a progress stamp on where we're going. We've got to try and beat them. We've got to be defensively good, but we've got to try and beat them. Liverpool were defensively good last night, but they still won 3-0. You can do both, and that's what we've got to do. I don't want to see us parking the bus in this game. I don't want to see Fellaini anywhere near the squad. I don't want to see McTominay starting. I don't want to see Carrick starting. Matic can be the only tall, slow midfielder in that midfield. We've got to have some pace in there. And if he thinks Lingard and Pogba can be the pace in there and the tenacity in there, fine. But you can't put slow players in this game. We will get annihilated. Mr. Zaki Poi says we're going to win 1-0. Mark, we are Manchester United and we need to dominate City, says Pankaj. Well, if we can do that, I'll be absolutely stunned. Whack a like on the video, everybody. System and passion, I've got written down here. Schooled by Klopp. And Jose out if we park the bus. I think I was just tired last night. I'm not Jose out if we park the bus, but we do need to do it. We definitely need to do it. I just want to bring in here as well. This was something I really wanted to talk about. Is press and attack and we win, says Abhishek. They're on the ropes. City are on the ropes as well. How great would it be if United then went and beat them on Saturday? Liverpool knock them out on Tuesday. What a week that would be from the two biggest clubs in England to destroy the new boy. Yeah. Look, I remember Manchester United and the older people from 2008 will remember this and all the other years that we won the title. Manchester United winning the title probably seems like a long time ago. It used to be a bit of a foregone conclusion. It used to happen with such regularity that you always liked it. But I remember countless league titles, and I'm sure people will agree with me, where we got knocked out in the Champions League in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals. And we'd still go and win the league quite comfortably, but it would end up being a bit of a flat season because, yeah, you've won the league, but you've been knocked out of the Champions League, and it's sort of, it takes away from the league in some ways. I mean, it's always great to win the league, but it did used to happen a lot for United, where we win the league, but we get knocked out of Champions League, and that would be so disappointing. Oh, we've won the league again. And Man City will be feeling that because they have won the league before. They've won it. This is their third time if they win it this time, which they will. They'll be gutted. Because the league's been ridiculously easy for them to get knocked out of the Champions League like that. They will be gutted. So they are a bit of a wounded animal as well. And I think you've got to... What do you do to a wounded animal? You don't just paint yourself up with a... You know, if you've got a lion on the floor and it's wounded, you know, it's hurt its leg, you don't just go and get yourself a bit of ketchup, lie down in the sun and say, come and eat me. That's parking the bus. You don't. You go and attack it and you hurt its other leg. You know, that's what you do. They are wounded. Go in for the kill. And on top of that, they played last night, Wednesday night. They're playing us on Saturday tea time, and then they're playing on Tuesday. They haven't really got the squad unless he plays an 11 reserves, which I don't think he will. I'm sure we'll see Bernardo Silva and I'm sure we'll see Aguero. But I mean, these are still players that are, you know, £50 million north. We've had a week off. We haven't played since last Saturday. Mourinho's had a whole week with a fully fit squad. If we can't press them on Saturday and be tenacious, there is something massively wrong with our coaching because we've had a whole bloody week off. I think it will be a disgrace if we don't get there from minute one and press the ball. Press it. Just get at them from minute one. We've had a whole week to prepare for this. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. We don't have the players to press City, says Charles. We'll sit back and try and counter. Next season when we have Timbo and Herrera in his rightful starting position in midfield, then we'll have that. It's funny, Charles, I sort of agreed with you. I do agree with you on that. I think that the midfield is crying out for a Fosu Mensah, Herrera, some pace, Fabinho. I like Fernandinho at Man City. I know people say, oh, you should have put Matic over Fernandinho. No, I like Fernandinho. Matic is probably a better footballer, but I like Fernandinho because he's so quick across the ground. Breaks the play up and gives it to a better player. I love that. It's what United's midfield misses. And I'm not even talking about it because it's the derby, because we've spoken about it all season. The midfield is so slow and static. And if you've not got a good midfield, you don't win games. Liverpool won last night because of Henderson, Milner and Oxlade-Chamberlain. And they're not good players, but they were pumped up and they went for it. And sometimes passion and a strong mentality will outdo talent. And that's what happened last night. And that's what City are. And I still think Man City are mercenary City. PSG are what Man City are. They've had a ridiculously easy league season where they don't get tested. No one's really tested PSG. They get knocked out of the Champions League at their first test. No one's really tested Man City. They play a difficult game against Liverpool at Anfield, who create a great atmosphere, whose players are pumped up, and they get annihilated. City are a fantastic team, but when the going gets tough, City get going. If you sit back, they love it. If you get in their face, they hate it. They are 11 mercenaries on ridiculous amounts of money, having the time of their lives, knocking the ball around, scoring great goals. Teams just sit back. It's a training exercise. When someone actually thumps into them with tackles and knocks them off the ball and is fast and doesn't let them get at it, they can't deal with it. They're not used to it. They're not used to having a fight because no one's given them a fight this season. That's Manchester City's problem in a couple of sentences. Again, where do Manchester City rank as the best ever Premier League side? I've been looking forward to doing this bit all show. I'll tell you where I put Man City as in relation to the best Premier League side ever. Now, considering the press have been telling us all season this is the best Premier League side ever, apparently against Everton last weekend it was one of the best performances they've ever seen by a Premier League going to be winning side. Where do I rank Man City as one of the best Premier League side ever? Well, I think, somewhere between Blackburn Rovers and Leicester City is where I would put them. I don't think this Man City team actually ranks anywhere near. I mean, I just think sit down. Sit down. Don't even put them in the same conversation as the Invincibles, as 99 United, as 08 United. I mean, I don't think they even deserve to be in the same conversation as Mourinho's Chelsea sides. I don't. I think they are a run-of-the-mill Premier League side that has been fortunate to play in a Premier League season where so many teams are dreadful and so many teams have sat back against them. And I think what will happen next season is a lot of teams will look at what Liverpool have done, because Jurgen Klopp, I don't think Klopp's a great manager, by the way, but Mourinho knows how to shut Klopp up in a footballing sense. Klopp knows how to shut down Pep in a footballing sense. Pochettino pretty much knows how to shut down Mourinho at the moment. Everybody knows how to shut down Wenger. Everybody's got an Achilles heel. Everybody's got a bogey team. And the reality is Klopp knows how to sort Pep out because he's got the players to do it. Mourinho knows how to shut Klopp down and so he can't score against him. Everybody's got a weakness. And the way to look at it is you look at the team that causes Man City a problem and it's Klopp's. So you look at the way Klopp plays against City, and that's what a lot of teams will look at next season, and that's how you do it. You don't necessarily need fantastic players. As MA says, teams will figure out how to play against City next season. They're going to have the highest number of points in the history of the Premier League. Ignorant to say that they are a run-of-the-mill side, says Pratik. I don't think that's a very nice statement to call me ignorant, to be honest, Pratik. I've just totally explained why I've said that. And highest points in the Premier League season, what relevance is that if it's one of the worst Premier Leagues ever? The standard in the Premier League this season is atrocious. I mean, to be honest with you, how the hell are we second when, as Manchester United fans, we know we've not had a great season, but we're second? How have we managed to be second this season? How have we beaten Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal with the team that we've got when we've played very sporadic good football? We've been pretty poor in our approach play, in the way we play. And the chances, I mean, use Lukaku against Harry Kane. Harry Kane averages 5 chances above 5 point something chances a game. Lukaku averages about 2 point something. So Lukaku's getting half the service that Harry Kane gets. We're still second in the league. Don't kid yourself. This Premier League season is crap. The standard is awful. I remember Ross saying it on the United Stand back in October time. Consistently at different points through the season, we've said this season is rubbish. It's rubbish. And more fool us for losing to crap like Huddersfield and Newcastle. But, I mean, the Invincibles would be the Invincibles this season. 99 United would run away with it. 08 they'd run away with it. The standard's not good. If you stuck any of the decent teams from the Premier League past into this season, they would be close to what City are doing. The sad thing is, and maybe the odd City fan is watching this video now and they're going, "Oh, you're just bitter and everything like that." I'm going to throw you an olive branch here, City lovers, and say this: I sort of feel sorry for you in another universe, in a parallel universe, because you've screwed up. It's been too easy for you that you've not had any battles. And you had a battle last night and it was so foreign, you were like a rabbit in the headlights. You didn't know what to do because you came up against a team who fought you and outthought you. And you had no response to it because all season, every single game has been a walk in the park. They've not been challenged by anybody. I can't think of anyone. Chelsea came to the Etihad, parked the bus. They went to Old Trafford, their biggest game of the season. We parked the bus and let them have the ball. Liverpool are the only team who's done anything against them. Arsenal are crap. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. In Europe, Basel was that. They've not been tested. Man City have not been tested. Their first real test was last night and they came up short. And that must be really hard for Man City fans to deal with. And they cling to this, "Oh, but we're going to get record points. We've scored record goals." Yeah, but your first big test, you've been schooled and absolutely annihilated in front of the world. If I was Man City as Man United, I would be really, really annoyed. I'd be like, "Oh, God. If only the league was a little bit more competitive, we might have been better prepared." Because it's been so easy for them, and that's why they've struggled. Zotti Moon says, "Watching Mourinho's United is painful, or most boring coach ever." Well, we'll see on Saturday, don't we? Acid test. It really is. There are English Man City fans. News to me, says Bad Brab 124H. Hey, you know what? Don't knock Man City fans. If you saw what Liverpool did to the Man City bus last night, it was like Turkey. It was flares, chucking stuff at the bus. Well, I tell you what, Liverpool fans, you might think you can get away with it at your place, but you wait till you get down to the Etihad. You haven't seen nothing yet. They've got dummies being painted and everything, and stereo music going up to create an atmosphere. They're buying fans in as we speak. This match is about Jose's job at United, says Luke Purchase. I think to a certain extent. You know what, Luke? I do agree. I think it is. And Liverpool need just one away goal and this is over, says Biosphere. Well, we're not the Liverpool fan channel, to be honest. I don't want either of them to get even to the final. If we park the bus and still win, I will be more dissatisfied than if we go at them and lose, says Anthony Muller. You know what? That did drop into my head, Anthony. I must admit, that did drop into my head. Would you rather we park the bus and lose and win 1-0, or we have a real good go at them and we end up losing 3-2 off a dodgy refereeing decision? It's a derby. You've still got to take the win, haven't you? But I can sort of see the argument for, but if we lost 3-2 and we were just unlucky for a refereeing decision and we played really good football, at least there's longevity in that. You know, actually, I might even be convincing myself now. Parking the bus and winning a derby 1-0. What do we get in that? What do we get out? Actually, you know what? What do we get out of that? Winning 1-0 by parking the bus. What do we get out of that? City fans are still going to go, "We've annihilated you. We're still going to win the league up yours, and you park the bus. You're crap." So there's no real moral victory in that. The moral victory is if we're progressive. John Sherrill says he'd park the bus and win. I would take park the bus and win. That's what he said. Win all day, every day, fool, says Anton. Anton, if I hear you calling anybody a name like that again, you're off. There's no need. No need. No, the thing is, we can't have City winning the league against us, says Beatshoven. Exactly. That's the most relevant point. Have a go, Man United. Harper Hull, that should be a new song. And I'd take any win in a derby, says Mr. Zaki Boy. Of course, I would stick with the 1-0 win because they don't win the title, do they? So Yeah, I would rather go at them and lose undeservedly than by parking the bus, says Lucas Bishop. I think it's the scenario, Lucas. The reality is, if Man City win on Saturday, they win the title as well, don't they? So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where I sit on this. Will Pep rest his star players or not? Because if he rests the players that have won him the title and his reserves beaters, which they still could, to be honest, depending on how we approach the game, then those players get that moment of winning the title. Is that important? Does Pep value that? I don't know. Please do drop a like on the video. There's a lot of people watching today, which is fantastic. We need a big performance, says LM Plays. And no Umtiti for United fans, says Cooley Talk. I don't think anyone was really expecting him. We just said he's a good player, and if he did come to us, we'd welcome him. But it was always a long shot. So this is probably the question of the day from Tommy King. Who did City fans support 8 years ago? I'd say most Chelsea, to be honest. Go for it and draw 4-4. That would be quite a game. I just want to be entertained. I want to be entertained at the weekend. I think that's what we want to see. We want to be entertained. And as I go back to that screen and we look at that United 11, I just don't think that is going to entertain, is it? These four can press, but those two can't. And that's where City would win the battle and get at us. So I think Herrera's really important. I think Herrera's got to play. Back of the net, 2-0, says United like Manchester. Martial and Rojo mark. I don't see Martial being anywhere near this game, if I'm totally honest. I just can't see it at all. But I'm massively excited about this game, I've got to say. Massively excited about it. 5:30 on Saturday. It's a Manchester derby. And I'm excited. You know, this season's not gone the way I wanted it to, or you wanted it to, I'm sure. But this is a Manchester derby. And you know what? Some people get nervous about these sort of games. I just get really passionate and excited because I'm like, this is not just a football game. This is not just a derby. This is Mourinho. This is a statement. This is his future at Manchester United. This is stopping Man City winning the title. This is seeing what Liverpool did last night, our biggest rival, and not parking the bus. This is going and having a go and going for a wounded animal. City will be feeling like crap. They will be absolutely stunned by what they did last night. Go and give it him. Go and give it to him. That's what we've got to do. Give it them. Somebody just said, "What are you doing an 8 o'clock show?" We are doing an 8 o'clock show tonight. We just didn't do it last couple of nights because of the Champions League, but we did an 11 o'clock transfer show last night. But we are back at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm hoping to get Sophie on because she's going to do the fan cams for us at the Etihad on Saturday. Hopefully she'll bring us some luck. But it wouldn't be the Manchester derby if we hadn't sorted out a little offer for you. Thanks for everybody who entered the BetBull iPhone giveaway yesterday on the transfer show. We've got all your entrants. We'll be announcing the winner at 8 o'clock tonight. There's still time to enter if you go and watch the transfer video. You can win an iPhone, the latest iPhone model. I don't know what it is because I don't have an iPhone. I'm on Samsung, but it's through BetBull. The transfer video, if you've not watched it, go and watch it because you can win an iPhone. I think it's the last upload on the channel. But Manchester derby, we've got a promotion for you through Ladbrokes. Effectively 25-1 for there to be a goal in the derby. Of course, it's not going to be 0-0. Well, it might be if he parks the bus. 25-1. Link in the video description. Exclusive through the United stand. You've got to be over 18 to enter. And it's the bet is paid out on whatever the odds are, and the 25-1 extras is paid out in free bets, which means that you can then go and put it on something obvious like Lukaku to score or something like that. So very, very good odds. 25-1 for a goal in the derby. The link is in the video description for that. Manchester derby, Ladbrokes, get on it. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Live again at 8 o'clock tonight. Absolutely loved that show. I can't believe we were live for nearly 40 minutes. But we whizzed through it, didn't we? Because it was so much to talk about. I can feel the passion it's building. I hope you're all feeling the same. I'm really, really, really building up for this one. So yeah, get involved. And also, just with the Ladbrokes thing, we've not had it confirmed yet. We should have it confirmed hopefully by tonight, is that people who sign up will go into the draw to win a Manchester United shirt, which is what we've always done through them. We just got to confirm that we can do that again. So link in the video description, open to new customers, that is. 25-1 for a goal in the derby, and we're hopefully going to be able to give away a Manchester United shirt to somebody, one of the people who sign up. We normally get about 20 sign ups, so one in 20 chance of winning a shirt. Thanks for watching. Back at 8 o'clock tonight. Loved the show. Fantastic. I applaud you all. Really enjoyed it. Real passion. This matters. Hopefully Mourinho is going to do it the right way. Come on, Jose. Set the horses free.